I paid $60,000 for a family vacation, but my mother-in-law decided to invite my wife's ex. I canceled everything and turned their dream trip into a nightmare. I'm Liam Carter, 32, married to Sarah for 4 years. We live in Denver, and things are going well with my engineering job and her work as a graphic designer. This is about how I spent $60,000 of my savings on a Cancun vacation that turned into hell. I wanted to do something big for our 4th anniversary. Sarah always talked about Cancun, beaches, luxury resorts, paradise. We decided to invite her mom, Linda, and her brother, Issen, for a family trip. Linda's a widow, sometimes nosy, but we got along. Issen, 19, is quiet but a good kid. I found a resort in Riviera Maya, ocean view suites, gourmet food, ruin tours. It cost $60,000, a fortune, but it was years of savings. Sarah was thrilled, saying it'd be unforgettable. I paid a $35,000 deposit, leaving $25,000 for the balance, and booked flights, activities, everything for 10 perfect days. A week before, things went south. We were at Linda's discussing the trip when she said, "I invited someone else. Hope you don't mind." My stomach nodded. "Who?" I asked. "Ryan," she said with a weird smile. Ryan is Sarah's ex. They were together 3 years before me. Split because he wouldn't commit. Linda always saw him as a son, but inviting him crossed a line. "Why?" I asked, trying not to explode. Linda shrugged. "He's like family, Liam. Don't be selfish. He'll pay his share." I looked at Sarah, expecting her to shut it down. "It's not a big deal, Liam. Relax," she said. Issen stayed quiet, uncomfortable. I wanted to scream. "I paid $60,000 for this. It's a family trip," I said. Linda looked at me like I was the bad guy. Sarah touched my arm. "Don't make drama." I swallowed my anger but was furious. That night, I confronted Sarah. "Why didn't you say anything? It's your ex." She sighed. "Don't be paranoid. Ryan's the past. Mom invited him because she loves him. Don't you trust me?" I wanted to believe her, but couldn't. "I trust you, but I don't like this," I said. She kissed me, saying it'd be fine. I wasn't convinced, but didn't want to fight. We arrived in Cancun. The resort was a dream. Infinity pools, palm trees, shimmering sea. Sarah was happy. Issen took photos. Linda smiled. Then Ryan arrived, stepping out of a taxi with a charming grin. "Thanks, Liam," he said, like I'd invited him. I shook his hand, squeezing hard, and muttered, "You're welcome." The first day was bearable. We swam, ate at a sea view restaurant, and took a boat tour. Sarah and I walked the beach at sunset, and for a moment, I thought it'd be okay. But on the second day, I noticed things. Linda and Ryan were always together. She laughed with him, included him like he was a guest of honor. Sarah didn't help, reminiscing with Ryan about their past. Memories I didn't share. "Remember when we went to," he'd say, and she'd laugh. I felt like a stranger on my own trip. On the third day, at a cenote, Ryan helped Sarah swim, touching her waist while Linda clapped. I lagged behind, carrying towels, rage building. That night, at the resort bar, Issen found me alone. "I don't know why Mom invited Ryan." "It's weird," he said. I nodded, grateful, but didn't drag him into my mess. "Just want everyone to enjoy." I lied. On the 4th day, at a candlelit beach dinner, things got worse. Sarah barely spoke to me. Glued to Ryan, Linda kept praising him. Always so charming. Ryan whispered something to Sarah, and she laughed loudly. "Everything okay?" I asked, annoyed. "Yeah, Liam, relax," she said, like I was the issue. I tried talking to her in our suite. "I don't like how you're acting with Ryan." She rolled her eyes. "You're being ridiculous. He's just a friend." It hurt, but I didn't push. On the 5th day at Mayan ruins, Ryan and Sarah walked together, laughing, while Linda trailed them like they were a movie couple. I carried water and sunscreen, feeling like staff. Linda asked me to take photos of them because they looked good together. I gritted my teeth and did it, each click like a stab. Issen tried cheering me up, suggesting beach volleyball, but I was checked out. That night, at a resort show, Sarah sat between Ryan and Linda. I was on the other side, watching Ryan pass her a drink as she smiled. Linda raved about how fun Ryan was. I left early, saying I was tired. No one noticed. In our suite, I stayed up, staring at the ceiling, rage growing. I was paying a fortune and felt invisible. On the 6th day, I snapped. Walking the beach to clear my head, I saw Sarah and Ryan under a palm tree. They weren't talking. He had her by the waist, and they kissed, a real gut-punching kiss. I froze. I wanted to run, scream, but didn't. I turned back to the resort. I didn't cry or yell, just felt cold rage. That night, as Sarah slept, I sat on the balcony with a beer. I wouldn't let them humiliate me anymore. I wouldn't confront them. Not yet. I'd make them pay. Linda, with her Ryan obsession, had disrespected me. Sarah had betrayed me. Issen was the only one who didn't make me feel like an idiot, but he couldn't help. I decided to ruin their trip, like they ruined mine. My revenge would be quiet. I thought about the money. I paid for everything, the deposit, flights, activities. The $25,000 balance was on my card. Linda, Sarah, and Ryan hadn't contributed. Issen was covered because I invited him, but the others depended on me. I could use that. The flights were in my name. Canceling them would strand them. Every step would be calculated. I went to bed with a strange calm. Sarah slept, but I didn't see her the same. Tomorrow, I'd start moving the pieces. They wanted to play me, but I'd win. On the 7th day, I acted normal. We had breakfast at the resort's restaurant. Turquoise sea in the background. Sarah and Ryan chatted about a cenote tour, laughing. Linda, as always, said Ryan was the trip soul. I sipped coffee, pretending everything was fine, though the image of Sarah kissing Ryan burned. Issen gave me a weird look, like he sensed something but said nothing. After Sarah and Ryan went to pool, Linda trailing like their biggest fan. I stayed with Issen, saying I needed a break. "You okay, Liam?" he asked at the bar, holding a soda. I didn't want to drag him in. "Just tired, man," I said, forcing a smile. He didn't fully buy it, but didn't push. Issen's young but not stupid. He knew something was off, and I quietly appreciated it. I went to reception and spoke to the manager, a calm guy named Miguel. I told him to charge the $25,000 balance to my card only and block anyone else's access. Then I asked that, at the trip's end, they present the full bill to Sarah, Linda, and Ryan, as if they had to pay it. I wanted them to feel the hit. Miguel hesitated, but I said it was personal and there'd be no issues. "Understood, Mr. Carter," he said, noting it down. That night at dinner, I dropped the first bomb. I said I'd treat them to expensive spa massages, claiming it was all paid. Sarah hugged me, saying, "You're the best, Liam." Ryan raised his glass like we were buddies. Linda called me a gentleman. I charged it to the rooms tab, which they'd have to cover. I also told the spa to offer extras, champagne, luxury treatments, things costing thousands. They fell for it, saying it'd be unforgettable. On the 8th day, I kept up the act. We took a yacht tour along the coast. Sarah and Ryan sat together, taking photos, laughing. Linda kept saying Ryan made the trip perfect. I faked having fun, drinking beer and chatting with Issen. But every laugh from Sarah with Ryan, every comment from Linda, felt like a punch. That night, at a beach bar, Ryan shared stories from his time with Sarah, and she gave him smiles she didn't give me. Linda laughed, saying, "You two were always so great together." I gripped my glass until my knuckles whitened but stayed silent. Later, I slipped away and called the airline. I said there was a mistake and canceled Sarah, Linda, and Ryan's flights, keeping mine and Issen's. The airline offered refunds, but I didn't care. I wanted them stranded, penniless for new tickets. They couldn't afford last-minute fares. On the 9th day, I raised the stakes. At a gourmet lunch, I suggested ordering the priciest items: lobster, fine wines, lavish desserts. "It's our second to last day. Let's splurge," I said, winking. Sarah and Ryan got excited, ordering everything. Linda praised my generosity. It all went to the rooms tab. Then I convinced them for a private helicopter tour over the coast. $3,000 per person. I said I'd cover it, but charge it to the tab. They agreed without thinking, like money grew on trees. That afternoon at a private beach, Sarah and Ryan played in the water, splashing and laughing. Linda watched, saying, "You look so happy, Sarah." I was with Issen, pretending to relax. He looked at me seriously. "Liam, this isn't right. I don't know what's going on, but I don't like it." I patted his shoulder. "Relax, it'll be fine." I didn't tell him anything. I didn't want him against his sister or Mom. That night, at a beach dance show, Sarah and Ryan danced together. Linda recorded, calling them adorable. I stayed at the bar, sipping a drink, watching my marriage crumble. Issen sat with me. "I don't know how you stand it," he said quietly. I didn't reply, just ordered another beer. My plan grew. Every moment they enjoyed, every laugh. I was paying for, but soon they'd pay. On the 10th day, it all came together. We woke early to pack. Sarah was euphoric, saying it was the best trip of her life. Linda thanked Ryan for making it unforgettable. I helped Issen with his bags. Staying calm, I went to reception and spoke to Miguel one last time. "Present the bill to those three," I said. He nodded. I also asked him to say I'd already left if they looked for me in the lobby. I said goodbye to everyone, claiming I was hitting the bathroom and we'd meet at the airport. Issen came with me because I said we'd share a taxi. We went straight to the airport. I turned off my phone before boarding. Issen asked what was happening. "Trust me, it's for the best," I said. He didn't say more. On the flight to Denver, I imagined the chaos at the resort. Sarah, Linda, and Ryan getting a $25,000 bill plus extras, massages, champagne, the helicopter, meals. Their cards declined, the hotel demanding collateral. Then at the airport, finding their flights didn't exist, stranded in Cancun with no money. I didn't feel joy, just cold satisfaction. They betrayed me, and now they paid the price. At home, Issen stayed a few days. Max, our dog, greeted me like nothing happened. I didn't tell Issen everything. I didn't want him hating his family. Sarah called repeatedly, leaving furious messages, but I didn't answer. I contacted a lawyer and started divorce papers. I didn't want to see her again, not after what she did. The first day home, I checked my phone. 17 missed calls from Sarah, angry texts. "Liam, where are you?" They gave us a huge bill. We have no flights. Linda left rants, calling me irresponsible. Ryan, surprisingly, said nothing. I blocked their numbers without replying. I was in Denver with Issen, who stayed a few days, and Max, who greeted me like he knew I needed a hug. I'd spent $60,000 on a Cancun trip that became a disaster because of Sarah's betrayal with Ryan and Linda's complicity. My revenge left them stranded with an unpayable bill and no flights. Now it was time to close this chapter. With a broken heart, but head held high, I contacted Greg, a straightforward lawyer recommended by a friend. I told him everything. The trip, the beach kiss, how I made Sarah, Linda, and Ryan face a $25,000 bill plus extras, and how I canceled their flights. "I want a divorce now," I said. He grinned. "This is easy. Infidelity helps. But in Colorado, we can do a no-fault divorce, quick and clean." I signed the papers that day, feeling lighter. I imagined the chaos in Cancun, Sarah, Linda, and Ryan at reception with a $30,000 plus bill for massages, the helicopter, lobsters, and champagne I'd pushed them to order. Their cards declined, staff demanding jewelry, bags, anything. Then at the airport, learning their flights were gone. Linda, with her widow's pension, couldn't cover it. Sarah, with her designer salary, couldn't either. Ryan, a drifter with odd jobs, even less. I pictured them yelling, blaming each other, stuck in Mexico. I didn't laugh, but I felt cold satisfaction. They earned it. A week later, the resort emailed me. They confirmed the balance was charged on my card, as agreed, since the three couldn't pay. They left Ryan's expensive watch, Linda's necklace, and Sarah's bag as collateral. I didn't care. I also heard from a friend who followed Sarah online that they got back to Denver after 3 days, borrowing from Linda's cousin. They posted smiling photos, but the comments were tense. Sarah blaming Ryan, Linda scolding everyone. I closed the app. I didn't need to see more. The divorce moved fast. Greg was a shark. Sarah tried emailing, saying, "We can talk, Liam. It wasn't what you think." I didn't reply. In a Zoom hearing, I saw her for the first time since Cancun, pale, with dark circles, sleepless. I felt nothing, just a void where love used to be. The judge gave us 30 days to split assets. The house and savings were my name, so Sarah had little to fight for. Greg ensured the trip's cost wasn't shared debt. She kept her car and some things, didn't resist. She knew she'd lost me. Issen visited a month later, drinking beer in my living room. He shared Cancun gossip. Linda and Ryan screamed at each other at reception, Sarah trying to calm them. Linda's grumpy cousin lent money to return, but charged interest. Issen said Sarah was a wreck, not from the debt, but because I wouldn't talk. She knows she screwed up Liam, but won't admit it, he said. I nodded, not wanting to dive in. Issen was a good kid, the only tie left of that family, but I needed to cut the rest. As the divorce continued, I started rebuilding. I threw myself into work, a project keeping me sane. Friends dragged me to bars, games, anything to keep me afloat. One night, my friend Mike slapped my back. "You did the right thing, man. Nobody deserves that stab." I wanted to believe him, but the pain lingered like a stubborn bruise. 3 months later, the divorce finalized. We signed in a gray office, not looking at each other. Sarah tried talking as we left. "Liam, I'm sorry I didn't want this." I looked at her coldly. "It's over, Sarah. Good luck." I walked away without turning back. That night at home with Max, I opened a beer and toasted myself. It hurt, but it was a pain I could carry. Then life threw a curveball. The resort emailed. Due to an error, they auctioned Ryan's watch and sent me $2,000. I laughed until my stomach hurt, like the universe was patting my back. I decided to spend it on something wild. A weekend in Vegas to clear my head. I'm not a casino guy, but I needed a change. In Vegas, at a hotel bar, I met Emma, a photographer traveling for work. It wasn't love at first sight, just a fun chat about bad movies and overpriced food. She made me laugh with stories of disastrous photo shoots, like a dog ruining a wedding set. We talked until 3 a.m., and for the first time in months, I didn't think of Sarah. Nothing happened, but we swapped numbers. "If you're in Denver, let me know," she said. I nodded, feeling a spark. Back in Denver, I had more air in my lungs. Emma texted a few days later, sending a meme about a movie we'd mentioned. We started chatting, nothing serious, just silly messages that made me smile. I wasn't ready for anything new, but I liked her on my radar. It reminded me the world hadn't ended. A month later, Issen gave me the final update. Sarah and Ryan tried rekindling after Cancun, but it crashed. Ryan, being Ryan, bailed when things got real. Linda, furious, cut him off, calling him a mistake. Sarah moved to a tiny apartment, working overtime to pay debts. Issen said she was alone, looking at old photos of us. "I think she misses you, Liam." I didn't care. Linda still blamed me, but Issen shut her down. "You didn't do anything wrong," he told me. I hugged him before he left. That kid was gold. Now I'm in a better place. I work, hang with friends, care for Max. Sometimes I think about the $60,000, not the money, but what I thought I had with Sarah. That dream shattered, but I'm building a new one. Emma's coming to Denver next week, for work. We're grabbing coffee, maybe tacos after. I'm not looking for serious, but I like the idea of laughing with someone who doesn't know my past. The best part came yesterday. A friend sent a screenshot of Ryan's social media post, begging for donations for a music project. He was selling his guitar to pay debts, with a defeated look worth gold. I laughed so hard Max barked, thinking something was wrong. It was the perfect closure. They lost, and though I'm wounded, I'm standing. I don't regret my revenge. Sarah, Linda, and Ryan earned it. I made them feel the same helplessness they caused me, but I didn't stay in hate. Cancun was a nightmare, but also a wake-up call. It showed me who they were and who I am. Heartbroken but free, I'm ready for what's next. And if Emma brings tacos, even better.